Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's Keith here. Once again, I'm very fortunate to be sitting here tonight with Frank Jr. He's a local musician here in Loche who had played in a band with his late Uncle Peter and his late dad Frank. They played in the band on the reserve, and he was a very talented musician back in his younger days, and he's sitting here with me and my brother tonight, and I just wanted to ask him a few questions about his musical history and maybe share some of his stories with us. So Frank, thank you for sitting here with us tonight. I just wanted to maybe give you a moment or some time to touch upon some of your musical history. So maybe if you could start off by telling us when you were younger, who influenced you, and how did you get started in music?
Well, when I was younger, when I was growing up, I grew up with music in my family, like you said. My uncle, my dad, we all played. I started playing at an early age just from watching local bands, how they chord and that. That's how I picked it up. My first chord was actually C chord. From there I went to G, then F. What really influenced me, then I went to play with a fiddle band, right? Like, started playing chording for fiddle music with my family. Then I started playing bass. I played with quite a few different guys. Played with Harold Herman, Paul Herman, Albert Herman, Clifford Toulouse, my dad and my uncle, a few other people that I played in the different bands, like band from Janvier I played with. I played with North Wind here, plus the Piche boys. Like, we played out of town, like the furthest we've been out of town is, we played in Snowdrift, those territories, the fiddle band. And we also played in Vancouver at the Chiefs Conference in 1986.
Wow.
And basically ever since then I've been playing, like, just like gatherings, with my family and I would go sit down around a campfire, we'd play music, stuff like that.
Who all played in your band on the reserve when you played with your father and your uncle?
Well, my dad was, my late dad was a lead singer, played rhythm. My Uncle Peter played the fiddle and lead. Then there was Ernie Piche, he was drummer, and myself as bass player. Then we also had Elmer McDonald from January to play with us. And he played both lead and fiddle too. So we had two different fiddles and two lead players, so.
That must have been a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. Lots and lots of fun. It was, it kept my mind off with other things, eh? Like when I played from the heart. And my mind wasn't elsewhere when I played. My mind was into the music when I played. And like, actually, playing kept me out of trouble, to say the least, I guess. A lot of kids nowadays, if they had something else to do besides what they're doing now, like pick up an instrument, learn it, There's lots you can get out of music. Me, I prefer country music, so that's why I play.
That's awesome.
A lot of people in town here, they're more in tune to country than they are to this rap and all this stuff, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Like, just for, like, a younger generation can follow it. I couldn't follow a word they're saying. Because it's just a little too fast for my ears, I guess.
So maybe share a little bit stories about when you were younger. You mentioned some of the bands that you used to watch. Who were some of those musicians or some of those bands that influenced you when you were younger?
Well, there's when I started going to dances at an early age, Animal House. there was North Wind, and then there's Leonard Touzier and his band that consisted of my late cousin Buckley, late Albert, Leonard, and I believe it was Paul Herman in there. Then North Wind. Then there's a band from Turner. I can't remember their names. Only one I remember is the drummer. They call him Bushman.
Was that like Bushman, Nunu, Baldy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember those guys.
Then there's Northern Fire, which was Freddie Moore and his brother Brian. I think Richard Petit was in there. I forget who the drummer was. And Henry and Dolores Gardapi.
They used to come to the Loche
Yeah.
too?
I played with them. I even played with old John Arcand. I played bass for him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you can think of that you'd like to add to this interview that you'd like to share with us?
Well, like I said, I think music is the way out of trouble. So especially the younger generation. I mean, whatever music you want to play, you like, as long as it keeps you out of trouble, keeps you safe,
So,
that way's better.
So if you had to give a message to a future musician that might be wanting to start out in music and maybe get into music, what would be your message to them or your advice to them if you had anything to say?
Put your heart into it and don't give up. You keep at something, you'll eventually get it. Me, I was kind of gifted because I was born into music. A lot of people don't have that opportunity. Well, that's all I have to say for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Frank, for sitting down with us tonight. And it was it was a pleasure for me to jam with you. If you're watching this video, I will be posting a song that me and my brother jammed with Frank right after I post this interview. And would you like to say anything about the song that we sang together?
Well, that's the first song that I learned to play.
And how old were you?
About 13 or 14. That's a lot of years ago.
Yeah. So how old were you when you first picked up the guitar and started playing? You mentioned it was in your family that you grew up with it around you. So
about 74, 75. So I was thinking about maybe 9 or 10 years old.
And you also have a nephew that plays, right?
My cousin, yeah. My cousin got his own band, Lauren Piche. They used to be called Looney Tunes, I believe.
Yeah, so it's still in the family.
Still in the family.
And it's still going strong.
Still going strong. Country music and Piche and him pretty synonymous.
Once again,
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Frank. Do you want to say any words of hi or bye to anybody?
Well, let's say hi to everybody who knows me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Merci, Char.
Thank you.